Thank you for joining us on this Friday, April 19th.
Live from the Beasley Media Complex in Boone, this is the Appalachian Weekly News. I'm Callie Walton.
And I'm Hatton.
Boone Saloon is facing public backlash after posting a picture of an I Ask for Consent sticker on Instagram. The caption to the post read, "This sticker on our machine with no consent, get the irony?" The post was deleted after Instagram users left over 100 comments. In March, staff from Boone Saloon participated in training hosted by Oasis for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Outreach coordinator for Oasis, Sarah Crouch, says the training was provided to the restaurant and bar staff so they could take action.
I think that, these active bystander intervention trainings, anybody who attends them, they're having conversations about consent and what that means and what is even sexual violence. I think that's starting a lot of interesting conversations in our community, hopefully across the nation.
The owner of Boone Saloon, Stephen Skip Sananian, posted an apology on Facebook saying, "I see that I have made some people upset over the years. I apologize to those that I have hurt. I will use this as an opportunity to become a better person." On Thursday, Sananian's wife, Callie Dupree, made a statement announcing that her husband has been removed from his position as owner and manager of the saloon, effective immediately. Boone Saloon has been incredibly proud to serve the downtown community since 2004, and we want nothing more than to continue in that endeavor. We are eager to learn from our mistakes and begin the process of re-earning the trust and respect of our patrons and the high country community, one customer at a time. Sincerely, Callie Dupree. Dupree signed the statement as owner and general manager of Boone Saloon.
Community members are fighting a court ruling that may affect the local environment. I had the opportunity to learn more.
Over 100 protesters gathered in front of the Watauga County Administration Building on April 16th. Participants vocalized their disapproval at the planned construction of an asphalt plant off of Highway 194 in Boone. The protests came after the Supreme Court of North Carolina refused to hear an appeal in the Rainbow Trail asphalt case on March 27th. The decision upheld a former ruling by the North Carolina Court of Appeals that granted Appalachian Materials a permit to build the plant on Rainbow Trail. If built, the plant would be less than a mile away from residential areas and a number of schools, including Hardin Park Elementary. The protest began at 4:30 in the afternoon, an hour before a scheduled commissioners' meeting. During the meeting, protesters were able to voice their complaints, concerns, and suggestions on how to remedy the issue. Matthew Littlefield created the Facebook page that helped organize the protest. As a homeowner in the planned construction zone, he wanted to raise awareness to his neighbors and community.
And I did that kind of arbitrarily on a Saturday night because I realized that my next door neighbor didn't know about it. I figured if he didn't know about it, then there might be some others. When I went to bed, there were 10 members, and when I woke up, there was 151. 6 days later, we're, I think, over 1,100 members now. So it just shows that a lot of people do not want this.
Protesters varied from property owners, school faculty members, and students of all ages. Some choosing to apply what they've learned in school and take action.
Well, our science teacher said we should do a project to do something. It's help the environment, and some people are just recycling for a week or being a vegetarian for a week. But we decided we were yeah, we should do something actually impactful, and so we decided to come protest for the asphalt campaign.
Community members have been protesting the proposed asphalt plant since 2015.
This protest is one of many held by the community group Wataugians Against Toxins Close to Home, also known as WATCH. The group plans to continue the fight to keep asphalt plants out of living communities for as long as possible.
Reporting for the Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Hatton.
April's campus budget presentations prioritized university growth. Faculty, staff, and students gathered to hear about budget plans and accomplishments from the university's deans and vice chancellors. Vice Chancellor for Business Affairs Paul Forte says that a key issue for App State is getting the necessary funding for a university of nearly 20,000 students. The UNC Board of Governors calculated a funding deficit of around $20 million for App State. Forte hopes that a new funding model for the university could help App to achieve more. The presentations also included discussions on improving academic buildings and faculty salaries.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter, Bernice King, visited App State's diversity celebration last week. And while she comes from a historic family, she insists that she's just a black woman living in the United States who wants equal living for everyone. King gave a speech about inclusion in today's climate. She said a university where students learn about working with others is the best place to talk about peace.
And so it's hard work and it's heart work. In fact, there were a book years ago compiled some of my messages in a book called Hard Questions, Heart answers. Because at the end of the day, in order to conquer the issues in our society of what my father called the triple evils of poverty, racism, and militarism, and everything that springs forth from those things, it's going to require some hard work.
The event was supported by several organizations, including the Multicultural and LGBT Centers and the National Pan-Hellenic Council.
The Women's Center is hosting several events throughout April to support survivors of sexual assault. Rape Culture Awareness Week takes place from April 9th to the 26th. Rape culture is a concept of how sexual violence and assault have become normalized in society. Take Back the Night and Denim Day are national events during Rape Culture Awareness Week where participants can stand in solidarity with survivors. Every year, there's a certain aspect of rape culture that is the focus for the week. In 2019, the focus will be on intersectionality. Member of the Planning Committee, Emma Start, says the week was started to explain what rape culture is. People aren't really familiar with the concept as a term, but they are familiar with the ways in which it manifests in everyday life.
Appalachian State's Title IX office wants to provide support to students. According to the office's website, Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972 protects people from discrimination based on sex and education programs or activities that receive federal financial assistance. The office works with students to identify problems they may be facing, connecting students with the appropriate resource offices on or off campus, and doing a risk assessment to help keep the problem from happening again. April Baer is the App State Title IX coordinator. She says, "It is our hope that through that process, whatever they have endured can be remedied in some way, and hopefully that student is able to continue to achieve their academic goals at Appalachian in spite of whatever may have happened." The Office of Title IX Compliance is located on the bottom floor of IG Greer.
2 campus organizations are working to change how the public views disabilities. President of the Autistic Students and Allies of the High Country, Joshua White, says there are a lot of misconceptions about autism spectrum disorder. White, who was diagnosed with autism as an adult, says that disability should be included as a part of the multicultural student organizations because it is like an identity. The Autism Society of North Carolina hosted an artist showcase on April 6th to display work from artists living in Tennessee, Boone, and Ashe County. President of the Autism Society of North Carolina, Kirsten Temple, said the goal of this event is to help people with autism feel celebrated.
And nobody with special needs is broken. They just have a different perspective, and so that's like we're learning. I mean, I'm learning how to respectfully serve with them, and so that's something we've had a really big emphasis on this semester and in past semesters as well.
A 6th grader from Hardin Park School will compete in the National Spelling Bee in May after winning the 79th Annual Regional Spelling Bee on March 24th. Sam Nystrom competed at the Winston-Salem Journal Regional Spelling Bee for the first time when he was in 4th grade and was the runner-up for the Watauga County Bee when he was in 5th grade. Nystrom studies a list of words for 10 to 15 minutes each day to prepare for the spelling bee. His favorite word to spell is blurb. Nystrom says his goal is to make it to the final round of the National Spelling Bee and win.
I like the challenge of spelling things and trying to use the word roots and stuff in context to figure out what it might mean and stuff, or how it's spelled.
Nystrom says he thinks his achievements will be fun to use when playing the game Two Truths and a Lie with new people. Good luck, Sam.
A new delivery service in Boone is making it easier for students to get the food they want quicker. DoorDash officially launched in Boone on March 20th. Before DoorDash launched, there were 2 other delivery services in town, Boone Delivery and Bite Squad. Both services say they are not nervous about the launch because there are plenty of students and residents that need delivery services. Lee Hornish is the owner of Boone Delivery. He says that things like inclement weather and time make it so many students cannot make it to the restaurant to get food. DoorDash delivers restaurants from 65 restaurants in town.
The 3rd annual Pride Shabbat took place in the Temple of the High Country for the first time on April 12th. The Pride Shabbat is a service meant to celebrate the LGBTQ+ community on the Jewish Day of Rest. The service was led by Marissa Fernandez. Fernandez is a part of App State's international Jewish organization, Hillel. With help of some other students in Hillel, Fernandez led the congregation in prayer and song. To encourage a positive attitude, Fernandez even passed out instruments for people to play during songs. Fernandez says that having the support of some of their LGBTQ+ friends in the audience really helped. At the end of the service, everyone came together and shared a meal.
From magic to jump rope routines, creative acts help to raise money for a good cause. The Watauga Education Foundation held its annual Shooting Stars event. The talent show showcased acts by Watauga County school students who went through a 4-day audition process. All proceeds from the event go directly to the Watauga County school system. The local nonprofit also raises money for teachers' grants. These grants are for things like workshops and graduate classes. Visual arts and performing producer Cassandra Steffen says the event's purpose is to raise money but also encourage creativity. The show featured 28 acts and students ranging from kindergartners to high school seniors.
Boone coffee shops support coffee from around the world. Local favorite coffee shops Hatchet Coffee and Local Lion have one thing in common, and it's not just their drinks. Both restaurants are supporters of humanely and sustainably grown coffees. Local Lion supports Direct Trade, a group of small coffee farms in Nicaragua that prioritize sustainability and invest in its workers by supporting their children's education and using organic practices. Hatchet Coffee supports Cafe Imports, a smaller import that is transparent in the way their coffee is grown and how their workers are treated. Local Lion primary roaster David Tatum enjoys the connection between the two coffee shops. He says, Local Lion is not professionally affiliated with Hatchet Coffee, just personally affiliated. That's what I love about the coffee industry, is that there's enough demand around that we aren't competing with each other. I prefer collaboration over competition. It can only increase the knowledge and the value of what we are all doing together.
All right, now it's time to check in on sports with Hannah Moseley.
Thank you, Hannah. Now it's time for your High Country High Note.
App State students and Hatchet Coffee collaborated to raise funds for a special cause. Our correspondent Nora Smith has the story.
Two special guests galloped to Hatchet Coffee for Horse Helpers of the High Country fundraiser on Saturday morning. Chester and Hank are the spokesponies for Horse Helpers, a Watauga-based equine rescue operation. Senior Public Relations major Erin Turner worked with her classmates for Principles of Fundraising to organize the event.
So I think it's a good way to introduce community members to a new organization that they might not have heard about, or be able to help a new cause, and just kind of bring people together through animals and equine rescue and stuff like that that maybe they never thought would be a good way to be a connector.
Along with charging $1 for a picture with Chester and Hank, Hatchet Coffee asked customers to round up their order to the nearest dollar and donated change to Horse Helpers.
We really strive to just be a business in the community that people see and other organizations and businesses see as someone who they can work with, and we want to make this place where we live better.
Student organizers said they were thrilled to be helping out the organization, and we got a similar reaction straight from the horse's mouth.
Hey, are you excited? Yes.
Reporting for the Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Nora Smith.
That's our report this week. Signing off for the last time, I'm Faith Hatton.
And I'm Callie Walton. For all of us here at the Appalachian Weekly News, thank you for watching. We'll see you next semester.